Okay, so after reviewing chapter 7 about memory bias, I had a couple of things that kind of stuck out to me and were pretty interesting to me. And it was about like the different types of elaborative encoding and like the processing theories. And so the one that kind of stuck out to me the most, I'd say, was the testing effect. And that's basically when you like do the test like over and over again, and it kind of increases your chance of like remembering that and like the retention of knowledge and stuff. So I kind of like thought about it, like sat back and like analyzed like all the tests that I have to do for like school and stuff. And I used to not really like pay attention to like the purpose of it. And I just noticed it as like a test and like, man, I don't really want to study for this. I don't want to take this test. But after kind of analyzing like the importance of it, I've kind of understood that tests, I mean, are pretty good for me, because it allows me to kind of analyze and like relearn and have a good understanding of everything, and so that I can like perform better on like other tests and future stuff that we're continuing to learn throughout the semester. Same with like the midterms and stuff. I've always like hated, but thinking about it, I was kind of like, okay, midterms are actually like pretty important, and like you have a good understanding of everything that you've learned for the first half of the semester. And so with that good understanding, you can kind of retain all of that knowledge through like tests and stuff. And so you can perform better on your future tests and future exams and stuff and have that basic knowledge kind of build. Also, I kind of, whenever I study for my tests, I use like Quizlet and stuff. So I'll make a Quizlet, or if I find a Quizlet, so I'll just like continue to test myself and like use flashcards and stuff. And it has been really helpful. I've done that ever since like high school when I first started taking tests. And yeah, it's definitely like helped me out. I definitely say that's like my main thing that I do whenever I study is just go over things over and over again. Not necessarily tests, but sometimes there's a like feature on Quizlet where it's like an exam or something, so I continue to like take that, and yeah, it's super helpful. And then the next one that I thought was really interesting was the self-reference effect. And that's basically when you kind of have a better understanding and better knowledge of things, whenever it's like personally, when you have a personal attachment to it, kind of. So, yeah, the definition says a term used to describe the increase in the ability to retrieve accurate memories when the individual relates to the material to be learned through their own personal experience during encoding. So, yeah, like I said, just kind of personal experience and stuff. Um, yeah, and just kind of like I mentioned in the book, actively thinking about like past experiences, and just so you kind of have a better understanding of a topic, you're actively thinking about it. You're actively thinking about like, how do I relate to this? And then you take that personal attachment, and that allows you to have a better retention of knowledge and kind of be able to encode and retrieve that information when you're encoding. And then there were a couple others that were mentioned that I thought were pretty interesting too. It was visual aids, because I'd consider myself a visual learner for sure. And so I thought it was interesting, like when you see something visually on like a book or on a page or something, you're more likely to remember what's on that page, because of the picture. And thinking about like how I kind of learn, I definitely agree with that for me personally. I just remember pictures. I remember visuals more than I remember words, or like kind of processing the words on the page. I remember pictures, and so those pictures would help me remember, and like understand and learn the words and processing that is actually on the page. And then the last one was visual imagery, and so that's when you can kind of like mentally hear the words, or you hear the words and you mentally think of an image in your head. And so, yeah, I like learning, growing up and everything. I definitely think I do that, and I still do that to this day. It's definitely a super helpful tool when you are kind of encoding memories and trying to retrieve and that information and retention of knowledge and all that stuff. So, yeah, thank you.